Hello. Welcome to episode number 12 of the People We Love podcast. I am Adam Choi. And being me, I guess, has been kind of interesting lately. Life has been pretty good. I mean, I'm fine. It's all of you people that I'm worried about, to be honest. I care about you guys. What can I say? But for real, I'm just trying to keep on growing this show and make moves in this world. You know me, man. But yeah, today we have a fun one. I will be speaking with India Pearl, who calls herself the Nantucket Housewife. She's a comedian, writer, and actress, and due to her unhealthy obsession with actor Jim Carrey, she started performing at a very young age. And since then, she's done theater, voices, commercials, films, you name it. India Pearl has performed all over this country, which includes opening for the comedian Doug Stanhope. And all this time, yes, she has just always loved Jim Carrey. So let's get right into it with her. Without further ado, here's India Pearl. Well, it's good to see you today, India Pearl. Thank you for stopping by the studio here.
Thank you for having me. This is
welcome.
Awesome.
How's it going? How's your day so far?
It's good. I'm pretty sick of this rain.
The rain? Yeah, it's been raining a lot in Los Angeles.
Oh, God. Too much. It's like, and I've been getting headaches and driving sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw today two 18-wheelers coming off a freeway ramp.
Okay.
And they were both trying to turn right because there was like two right turning lanes. And they kind of sideswiped each other.
Oh, God.
But there wasn't any
that's
injuries or anything. But
oh, my God.
sometimes when I see accidents and I realize that there's no injuries, or I see people, there's some it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was just two big trucks that obviously tried to do something they couldn't do.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of LA drivers.
Have you ever seen a truck stuck under a bridge?
Just photographs of.
Yeah. That happens a lot in New England.
I saw that in. I was learning about a little bit about like production and film shooting and all that.
Yeah.
And one of the things they said about during this insurance spiel is like, know your route.
Yeah.
Like there've been instances where big production trucks like, oh, I'm gonna go drive to the set, but they didn't like pre-plan it.
Yeah.
And there's overpasses or underpass, whatever you want to call it, that people.
Yeah, they can't get through.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself and summarize your life story in 30 seconds? That's what I tell everyone to do.
Okay, wonderful. So, I grew up an hour outside of Boston, a small town called Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah, you're wearing a Red Sox scarf right now.
I am.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. It's been a good year.
I was rooting for the Red Sox against the Dodgers. I'm a Mets fan, but
okay, so you're local.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I just don't like what I've been telling people. I just didn't want to be in the same city as the winning team and be around all those happy baseball fans. You guys are annoying, but there's less of you, even though there's still less of you. But anyway, that's outside of Boston.
Grew up in Worcester. I half Irish Catholic, half I'm Assyrian Orthodox, which is kind of like Armenian, but you can't get them mixed up because my grandma will get pissed.
Don't upset her.
My dad is a guitar tech. He moved out here when I was a kid, and I just wanted to be in movies and be on TV and do all this stuff from even when I was 3-4 years old. And I kind of did a lot of plays as a kid. I went to college for theater at UMass Amherst. I lived in Boston for about 3 years. I did a lot of theater. I started doing stand-up there. And just kind of progressed for a while, worked for a while, and then I just moved out to LA a few years ago. So I was like, why not just move out to
it's time better weather here.
People pay you for your work, I guess.
What was Boston like doing comedy and living there for those 3 years?
It was a good place to come up. It's a great city to come up, and the main reason is because there's so many places where you can just get a decent amount of time.
Right.
And I think a lot of the bars that they have open mics at, they have a lot of, kind of crass towny people that go. So if you're funny in Boston, you're probably funny everywhere.
That suits you.
Yeah.
That suits you. But at the same time, or not at the same time, but I feel like sometimes audiences, even outside of LA, are they more, maybe not forgiving, or not Boston, but LA, it's like there's so much competition and so many comedians and so many musicians. No one seems to care or even get excited by a lot of performers out there.
I feel like, yeah. Yeah, you're definitely right. I think because people. What I would say is people are excited when I am talking to them one-on-one and I say, "Oh, I'm a comedian." They're like, "What?" And they get really excited
from outside of Los Angeles when you're talking.
Well, no, even here, like they want to talk to a stand-up comic.
Sure, I am right now.
But yeah, thanks. But to be excited about, if you're at a bar and you're having drinks with your friends and then there's a comedy show, people are just like, "Ugh, another one." Yeah, in LA for sure. Although it's hard. It's like some people have these stories that they got discovered at some open mic and they got some kind of writing job or whatever. And I'm like, I don't know those stories. I don't know anybody that happened to.
but they happen. There's no one path. Life is not linear as I hear. But
you know what? It's funny is like you'll never feel as famous as when you go into the middle of damn nowhere to do comedy. And those people are just like so excited and they're so grateful and cool. And they just want to like get fucked up all night.
It's a good atmosphere. Have you performed at a lot of strange small towns throughout the country or anything like that?
Yeah, probably my favorite is shout out to Pahrump, Nevada. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Not Vegas, not Reno.
No, I mean, it's Vegas. Between. It's like near Vegas. Okay. It's not super far away. I guess, like a couple hours, but it's out there. And I remember I opened for my buddy Richie Lease, and we stayed up all night doing $3 blackjack, and it was awesome. And everyone there was so excited, and they wanted to talk to us, and like they were like, "Oh my god, like it's comedians, guys!" And they're so impressed.
Yeah, no, I feel like even going back to the Boston audiences. Although they will, if you're not funny, they're not going to laugh. They're not going to be into you. But at the same time, they're probably, even in Boston, excited to see, comedians.
Yeah. And the funny thing about Boston people is they'll tell you you're not funny and then buy you a beer.
That's right. That's not a bad consolation prize at all. Okay, so Boston to Los Angeles, and then what happens from there?
I realized that nobody cares when you go somewhere new. Like I thought I would come here and I would get an agent and like miraculously get all this career stuff going on. And the newbie factor is cool for like maybe a couple months. Like,
because you have a lot of material based on I'm new to Los Angeles and blah, like that kind of thing.
Well, more like other comics care that you're new and they're like they want to talk to you and get to know you and find out if you're funny, and they're people I would say are fairly welcoming, but then it wears off and they just kind of don't give a shit.
Yeah, everyone's worried about themselves.
That's definitely true.
They don't dislike you, they just most people just don't care enough to think one way or another.
They're like, whatever, they're there. I also I had a hard time explaining to my mom why I was not Jennifer Lawrence within 2 years. Oh, no. They just don't, people outside the business don't understand how it works.
I'm in it myself, and I'm not sure I fully, we're all trying to figure it out, I think, right? As we go. So you're in LA, but we can actually rewind a little bit, because we will work in the Jim Carrey stuff. So when did you first, become a fan of Jim Carrey? And tell me all about that. Let's dive in.
So when I was 4, The Mask came out.
Don't tell people your age in Los Angeles.
I know.
They'll do math.
I'm aging myself. So
it's okay.
So I remember watching the previews, and I was like, I have to see this movie. Like, I was so excited.
That was your first introduction to
Jim Carrey.
To Jim Carrey, yeah, because Ace Ventura was before.
A couple years later.
No.
Yeah, I was like 7.
You must be thinking of when the sequel. I think
I'm looking.
We're pulling out phones.
We gotta look this up.
His breakthrough. Well, he had a movie before Ace Ventura too that wasn't a hit, but I remember seeing it at a Blockbuster Video, if you remember that place. But no, I think Ace Ventura. Maybe you were thinking When Nature Calls. Unless you just saw The Mask.
You know what? They came out the same year.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, but I didn't see Ace Ventura in the theater. I think maybe I just remember seeing it when I was like 6 or 7.
Right.
And then the second one came out not long after, and I saw that in the theater.
Gotcha.
But the reason that The Mask was so meaningful is like my mom, like we never really got to do a lot of stuff outside of our regular routine because we were pretty poor. And I remember my mom taking me to the theater, and she loved it so much that we went back the next weekend with my sisters, my 2 sisters. And I was like, even at that age, like my mom never wanted to guilt us, but she was always very upfront about our financial situation.
Sure.
And like, we knew we were poor, but it like, who cares? Like, that's just everyone we knew was poor. So whatever. And so we went twice, and I was like, my whole world changed about what it meant to like be funny and all this comedy and like this crazy, all the crazy things that he does with his body and the voices and the characters. And eventually I just knew every word to that movie.
Yeah, there's just all types of humor and all types of comedy within that movie.
Yeah.
I wonder if even part of the appeal, I mean, not just to you, but to anybody watching The Mask, is the idea that, this guy puts on a mask and he becomes somebody he's not.
Yeah,
like
he
a
can be
better,
anyone.
confident, chameleon-like version of, himself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a minute since I've seen the movie. But,
what's also really great about that movie is it was like one of Cameron Diaz's first things, like ever.
Yeah.
And she was so banging in that movie. Like
she was pretty attractive in that movie.
I remember thinking, like, I watch the movie now and I still want to be her.
Yeah.
Like, she walks into the bank and she's got this red dress on and she's all
the
wet.
Red. That's actually what I think of when I think of like Cameron Diaz and The Mask, is just like all
that
this
red dress. Yeah.
popping at me.
And she like walks in, and his best friend in the movie, I forget the actor's name, but he looks at him and he goes, he's like, oh, I want her. And he just looks at him and goes, no, she will tear out your heart, throw it in a blender, and hit frappe. And I was like, that's the kind of woman that I want to be.
Oh, no.
It is not the kind of woman that I am. But that's what I thought that women should be when I was a little girl.
Because that was Jim Carrey's?
Because it was Jim Carrey's love interest.
So it was more about Jim Carrey than...
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I had this dream that I was going to change my name. I don't remember why, but I was like, I'm going to change my name to like something else interesting. And then, because I didn't like my name. I got made fun of a lot at school for it. And
India Pearl.
Yeah. And so like kids would surround me and they would do like a powwow, because 6-year-olds don't understand what racism is, and this is the 90s. So they would like pretend they're Indians and go like whoa, 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 whoa. And like I would like end up in tears until like, I don't know. I don't even know how that got broken up. Eventually I moved
They got
schools.
tired.
Yeah, eventually I moved schools because my mom was so sick of me getting picked on. But anyway, so I wanted to like change my name and dye my hair blonde and wear red dresses every day. And I was like, that's what a woman is. I've done none of those things.
That's okay. You got to do you. You got to do you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you saw The Mask, and so did you know Jim Carrey, or that's your introduction, you were saying?
Yeah.
To Jim Carrey. Okay.
Yeah.
And then where did that progress from there, as far as your fandom and
It just progressed to
your love for the man? We could talk about
like,
that too.
Me seeing every movie that he ever did. I mean, even now, if he's in something, I'll watch it.
I'm sure he appreciates that. I hope he does.
Yeah, I hope he does. He was in this movie about magicians, and he played like a Chris Angel type.
Yeah.
And he was hysterical. He was like the only good part of that movie, actually. The rest of it was really terrible and weird. I've even watched Mr. Popper's Penguins because it's him, and it's like a cute movie, I guess. But I started really, really appreciating him on a more mature level, because as I aged, so did the maturity of his career.
Yeah, he started to do some more serious dramatic roles.
And it was weird timing with like my life because as I started to get more introspective and like, you know, mature and like I was like a teenager and stuff like that. Then he started doing things like The Truman Show.
Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine.
Of course.
I used to love that movie so much, and it's not that I don't, but I can't watch it now.
Why is that?
Because I've been through a lot of relationships and heartbreak, and it's tough.
Too soon.
It's a hard thing to watch.
Yeah. It's too close to home.
It's too close. Like before you've ever really been in love, you're like, oh, this movie, it's so great, and like the emotion. But then like once you've been in love, you're like, fuck this movie.
Oh no. Even with Jim Carrey in it. Well, you could watch one of his other 30 movies.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, Dumb and Dumber.
Oh.
For me, Dumb and Dumber hits too close to home.
Why?
No, I'm joking.
You're stupid?
I'm joking. I'm joking. The Dumberest.
I gotta say, I didn't like the sequel. Or no, not the original. What is the third movie called?
I haven't seen it. The Dumb and Dumber T.O. I got it here in front of me.
Yeah, so it was the most recent one.
2014.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
It was okay.
I haven't seen it. Like, I kind of saw the reception wasn't amazing.
It's
Jim Carrey, if you're listening, you can fast forward part this.
Yeah,
part.
I'm really sorry, Jim. I didn't love it. I really loved you guys. Like, I loved them as actors, and I thought their performances were great, and I thought it was a fun movie to just kind of revisit. But I just thought the storyline was weird, and some of the jokes didn't land with me.
Yeah, it's hard to repeat the humor and the charm of the first one. There's just so many classic, hilarious moments that I cite from that movie and quote all the time. Yeah. All the time. The town is back that way. Oh, man. If anyone knows that reference.
Samsonite.
Mr. Samsonite.
Yeah.
We could just quote that all day. Yeah, so he started doing more serious roles that you were connecting to.
Yeah, and then that made me like, I remember being young, like, I'm not that I'm not young now, but like a kid, you know, and in late, like preteen, I guess, like 12, and having this like crazy crush on him, but also not knowing if I wanted to marry him or be him.
That's bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of also want to be in the spotlight and be just as funny as him.
But this wasn't like to the point where you wanted to, well, I guess you did want to be him, but it wasn't like I wanted to be a man or anything like that. No. You just wanted to be this man.
Yeah, but this is also around the time, maybe like when I was like 10, 12, this is when like SNL really started celebrating hilarious women. And the movie Superstar came out.
Yes. And
that was the first time that I saw a woman doing what Jim Carrey did.
Molly Shannon.
Yeah, Molly Shannon is like one of my idols. But I was like, I just remember seeing these women being funny and thinking, I can do that. I don't have to marry Jim.
Yeah.
I could be him, actually.
Be a version of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Molly Shannon is someone who, just looking at her before she even says a word or does anything, you can already start to like crack up. Like there's just some people, even like Will Ferrell to some degree, some people just have these faces that you're anticipating them saying something funny, and then with that anticipation, like I'm already giggling.
Yeah, the anticipation is so key, and it's because they have such conviction. Like whatever wherever they are in their headspace, they're
commit to that.
Yeah, and it's fantastic.
You could see when performers are in that headspace. I feel like where they're just like
they
don't give a fuck. Basically,
last week I was at an open mic, and it was in the Valley, and this woman, maybe it was the other night. No, I don't want to narrow
all
this.
the days.
I don't want to narrow this down too much because I don't want her to
together.
ever hear this and think I'm talking about her. But this chick that I saw in the recent past said that she was going to do some kind of impression, and then she was like, "I can do lots of impressions. Name a celebrity and I'll do it." And then people were naming these celebrities, and then she just couldn't commit to it. She was laughing. She was chickening out. She was saying in her, I can't do it. You're all making me laugh. You're all staring at me. And I'm thinking, just commit to the bit.
Yeah.
We'd laugh if you committed. Even if it's terrible. Even if like me, like Whitey McWhiterson, stands up on stage and says, I can do a Barack Obama impression. And everyone's like, do it. And I sound horrible, and it sounds nothing like Obama. If you do it with like...
Let me be clear.
Yeah.
I tried.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but there's something about your approach and conviction that makes it funny, even when it's absolutely ridiculous.
I think it's just annoying that she came out and said she was going to do something and then just didn't do it and thought that was okay.
Yeah, that annoyed me too.
Don't give me false advertising.
And it hurts. Like it's really tough. You know, as a woman in comedy, when you see another woman fail, you both feel bad for her and you hate her for it, because we are so few that when one of us fails, it makes the rest of the pack look bad. And that's a hard mentality to even say out loud that it exists, because the fact of the matter is there are not that many of us, and we also have to support each other and be cool. And
there's too many people that too many decision makers out there that have that sort of backwards attitude that judges a whole group of people, whether it's women or any sort of. And I've
heard that about a lot of things, like people that, I saw an Asian comic at this show and they're not funny. Asians aren't funny. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no, that's so stupid to judge any group of people based on one single person.
Yeah, and it's unfair to like put pressure on one person who's just trying to work out bits. You know, they're just trying to like find the funny somewhere. Like it's unfair of me to even put that pressure on her, but it doesn't make it hurt less.
Yeah, I guess to some degree, the only thing we could, me, you, all of us, is just control what we can control and not worry about what we can't control as much. That doesn't make it easy all the time.
You just gotta worry. I don't know. You just gotta worry about you and hope that other people are not
that way
doing the worst thing that they could.
Yeah. Expect it, and if they do anything better than the worst you expect, and then it's great. So you had a crush on Jim Carrey, and you didn't know whether you wanted to be him or marry him. And
I did. I think if I met him now, I would still not like. Let's just pretend Jim Carrey. Like I met him at a comedy club, like tomorrow, and he was like, "Let's go out on a date." I think I might want to hide my wedding ring.
Okay. Oh no. We'll turn it into like a business meeting or something like that.
Well, this is really funny. So, I have very vivid dreams, and I almost always remember them.
That's awesome. I wish I had that.
Oh my God, it's awesome. So, but
when they're good dreams.
Yeah, when they're good dreams. But I have a somewhat recurring dream where I meet him, and not recurring like once a month, like maybe every 6 months or so. I have a dream that I met him somewhere, and my most recent one, because I'm engaged, is like
congratulations.
Thank you. And I was sitting at this table, and I knew he was like interested in me, and then I was like, I gotta go. And then like I left, and then somehow I was back at another restaurant with him, and then I had to leave again. And I remember waking up and staring at my fiance, like hard staring. And he's like, "What is wrong? Like, what's the matter with you?
You're not Jim Carrey."
And I was
You're okay, but you know.
I was like, "I need you to know that I gave up a date twice with Jim Carrey last night."
See, that's the problem
because I love you.
Yeah, see, that's the problem with sometimes I'm not. I guess now I'm judging an entire gender based on one person, but that's the problem with y'all. Y'all trying to blame your dudes for shit that they can't even control. Blaming your guy for something you dreamed about. And then I've heard comedians joke, or in movies I've seen the reverse, where the guy like dreams about some random ass thing that he can't control, and then he gets yelled at for that too.
Yeah, he'll dream. Yeah, he'll dream that he had a sex dream, and then he mentions it, and she's like, "You cheated on me!" And he's like, "In a dream."
After she begs to hear about what you dreamed about. Yeah. Oh, never mind. I don't want to tell you. Oh, fine. I'll tell you. And then it backfires.
I'll kill you.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So you love Jim Carrey.
I do. I love him. He's just a comedic genius. He started out in stand-up, and he did a lot of impressions, which were fantastic.
I've seen some of his impressions, like old, that stuff's on YouTube.
Oh,
it
it's
was on
so good.
Johnny Carson and all that.
There's this old special that he has. I believe it was Showtime, and it was a comedy special, and it was before In Living Color, I think. But I still have it recorded off the TV on a VHS tape.
I bet you do.
Yeah. And I remember watching it over and over, and I would memorize all these jokes, and I still sometimes refer to it because I thought it was so good. And a lot of his jokes apply to real life, I think. And I wish he still did stand up. Like, it made me mad that he doesn't do it anymore.
Yeah, he doesn't do stand up anymore. Mostly painting. I know he paints and he does a lot of political stuff, and he's obviously acting still. What is the latest thing?
He took a break from acting. He was just kind of hanging out for a bit. He was a lot more.
He can afford to.
Yeah, I know. He was a lot more choosy about his projects.
As a man can afford to.
Yeah, exactly. And he just started painting. And, like, this is one of the things I don't like to, let me see if I can find the most recent thing that he did, because I'm not going to remember the name of the show. But only because I don't have, I'm the worst fan. I say that I'm the best fan in the world, but I'm the worst fan because, you
can't measure your passion, though, just because you don't have his IMDb memorized.
No, but it's because I don't have his
Google alerts set up for Jim Carrey.
I don't have Showtime or HBO and stuff. Like, he executive produced this show called I'm Dying Up Here, which is really good, but he's not in it.
What? I thought, for some reason, I thought you said I'm Dying Up Here. I thought you meant the show is called I'm Dying, and it's shot in the valley, as in up here in the valley.
So the show is called Kidding. Okay, there's 10 episodes. Oh, this is what it was. That's why. Okay, because it's on Showtime. Yeah, because I don't have Showtime. But it's Jeff Pickles, a man who is iconic in children's television. Mr. Pickles is a pillar of kindness and wisdom to the impressionable minds of America's youth and to the parents who grew up with him. When Mr. Pickles' family begins to implode, his life starts to take a downward spiral. He must put the fables and puppets aside to get through this newest crisis in life. As the slow leak of sanity advances faster than he can cope with, the cruel world breaks his heart.
So and that's starring Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like
it's really good. I mean,
yeah, that sounds like something that's right up. No wonder he chose it.
I know. And now I'm like, it's been out for a couple of months, like 3 months now, and I keep being like, oh, I'm gonna get Showtime. Like, I'm gonna just get and I just don't do it.
We would never illegally stream anything.
No.
Mr. Carrey.
No. I will not say no to screeners, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes
they're floating around here. You can
if anyone has a screener of Mr. Pickles for Emmy consideration, please find me at nantuckethousewife.com.
Yeah, so Nantucket Housewife, how did you we'll take a little sidebar there, tangent.
So right around the time that I moved to LA, I had this very serious turn in my fashion sense. Like, before I didn't really care that much, but then I was I'm in my 20s, and I was like, I want to start dressing nicer. And I had a job at a comedy club, and I was a secretary, and I sold tickets and stuff, so I had to dress up. Just
nicer.
Yeah, just for work. So I started wearing all this Tommy Hilfiger. And what I love about Tommy Hilfiger is my favorite. I'm wearing it right now. This shirt is Tommy Hilfiger. What I love about Tommy Hilfiger is it's like designer affordable. So it's a known name. He's from New England. and he makes everything in like mostly everything in 100% cotton. So it's like maybe this shirt was $50, but it's not $500, and it's more expensive than American Eagle, and it lasts longer, and I can put it in the washing machine and the dryer.
Yeah, there's something to be said for quality.
Yeah.
Finding that out. Quality has value.
Yeah, and that was like when I became an adult, I think, is when I decided to really invest in clothes intentionally instead of, and not being like a brat about it, more like I want to feel
Purposeful.
more adult-like, you know, and this sounds so weird saying it all, but I started wearing all this Tommy Hilfiger, and then somebody mentioned like you look like a housewife, and I was like, oh my god, thank you.
Is that a good thing? Or?
Yeah,
because you were trying to look more mature.
Yeah, I was trying to look more mature, and like I had my shit together, and I started wearing dresses on stage, especially my Tommy Hilfiger dresses. I would wear them on stage, and I would talk about it. And I would say, you know, I like to dress like a Nantucket housewife because my mom always told me that you should dress for the job that you want.
And that's the job you want?
I mean, in my dream world.
Who
doesn't want, even men should want to be a Nantucket housewife.
And what does that mean exactly?
It means you live on an island off of Cape Cod and your life is cushy AF.
I see.
And
you're friends with
high class.
The Kennedys.
Yeah, you're friends with the Kennedys. You probably go to Martha's Vineyard and hang out with the Obamas.
Yeah.
Like, you
marry Jim Carrey and live there.
Yeah, you marry Jim Carrey.
Well, he's from was he from Toronto, from Canada? So
yeah,
you could maybe get him to go back
probably
back east with you at some point. I do have his personal life in his biography, and he has dated, you know, several actresses in Hollywood and
my age too. Yeah.
Yeah, so you never.
I was like, you never know, babe.
You never know.
If you leave me, I could still go to Jim Carrey, and he's like, yeah.
Well, let me ask you a hypothetical question. Going back to what you said earlier, if you could, you know, be him or be with him, what would you choose? And I guess the be him that would, like, do you get to relive
like Molly Shannon?
Well, do you get to like relive Jim Carrey's whole career from this whole life?
No. Like, so when I say be him, I mean like be as successful of a comedian.
I gotcha.
Yeah,
you're not trying to switch lives with him.
No,
exactly. No. Hey, some people are like that. Like, yeah, I would switch. You know, lives.
Yeah, I know. But no, I think at this point in my life, I would want. I want more like his career. Like, sure. I don't want to be
his success and doing what he does.
And doing what, yeah.
It's not just the success and the money, it's that he's doing what you love and
even if you had like a fraction of the success of Jim Carrey, I think you're such a successful human being. I mean, knowing what you do about this town, there are, and this is like something a lot of people don't know about, there are thousands of actors, musicians, performers, people that you will never hear of that make a very decent living,
right,
or at least an affordable living off of performing, and they don't have to do anything else. And that's the goal, obviously.
Working.
Yeah, they're working.
Working actor, working comic.
Yeah.
That means working means getting paid.
Yep.
So if you were to meet, you never met Jim Carrey, you said.
Never met him.
What would you say to him? Obviously, you kind of have like the maybe the joking things that you would joke about. But what would you actually say to him if you had a chance to talk to him? I guess it depends on where you're in line at the
I think
the taco truck,
I would
or you have
say,
time.
I think I would just say thank you for inspiring me to be funny.
Let's keep it simple.
If I had to keep it simple.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'd talk to him about.
Yeah. If you had, what if you had more? What if you had lunch with the guy or something like that? What? You just see where the conversation goes.
I'd love to ask him.
You wouldn't script it?
No, I'd love to ask him. I'd love to ask him why he stopped doing stand-up.
Yeah.
He kind of talked about it at one point. I remember seeing an interview with him where he was like, he was feeling unfulfilled, and he walked away from stand-up for a bit, and then he had a kid, and he was like, crap, like I have to go back and do that. I'm pretty sure that this was the
I know he
scenario.
Has a daughter. I think.
Yeah, but I don't remember if that redheaded chick from Dumb and Dumber is her mom or if that was his second. If he was divorced from his first wife already.
I think the daughter might be his first wife. I'm not 100%. It's somewhere in the printed Wikipedia.
So he had a kid, and he was like, I got to go back to stand up. So he went back to stand up.
And he went back to stand up when he had a kid. This was like after he.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
He left because he was kind of miserable with it, and he was like, I don't know.
This must be in the 80s or late
80s. Yeah. And then he got In Living Color.
Right.
And he's like, through stand up, I got In Living Color, and it was the best decision I ever made, and I almost didn't do it.
Yeah, I think the reason why he probably doesn't do stand up today, I mean, just I'm guessing, is that it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard, and you will fail, and you will bomb, and you will have to build an act from, as you know, all this stuff.
Yeah,
I'm sure,
I've been doing it
scratch.
for years, and I won't say how many, but my act has progressed a lot even since I moved to LA, and part of that is because you're with all these home run hitters, and you get to see it all the time. You get to see these like really, really good, professional, awesome people just they kill, and it doesn't even look like they're working.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So
dicks.
That's what you aspire to, and I think it rubs off on you eventually, I hope, but I even like my friends have been like, oh yeah, like you got funnier since we moved to LA. And I think a lot of my friends have too, because a bunch of us moved around the same time from Boston.
You keep working at something, you will you will get better at it.
But even now, even though I know what I'm doing and I don't have stage fright anymore, and I feel like, I can go on the road and I do festivals and stuff, I still have days where I'm like, what am I doing?
Sure.
Why can't I just want to quit. I'm going to quit tomorrow. I'm not going to do this anymore.
It's it's just totally about, the stand up. It's not about I'm going to quit and I'm going to do this. It's just I can't do this anymore.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you get disappointed.
The struggle is real.
The struggle is very real.
Damn. What, like, in an ideal world, what would you see yourself doing? Is it just putting out stand-up special after stand-up special? Do you want to be in movies like Jim Carrey's career? I mean, you kind of said you would like to switch careers with Jim Carrey. But for you, would it be like just having your own stand-up special or TV? Like, what would you... No wrong answer.
No, I think now the more I understand about the business, and because I feel like it's possible to have more creative control.
Sure.
I want to be more akin to like even what Fran Drescher did. Like she wrote a TV show and she starred in it. And I think that's kind of where my career goals end up lying. I think my heart has been more into the writing process than the acting process. Especially like sometimes you get exhausted from acting and theater, and you do theater for so long, and I don't know. I think I just want to have more creative control over my life.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately what it is: creative control, and maybe just doing different things. Like if you had we're lucky enough to have like some long running TV show that you were writing or starring in, and you do that, and then after that maybe something.
Yeah, I definitely would like to do like a stand up special, and I do like going on the road, but I don't love the road.
Yeah.
I think you have to have a career where you're only doing stand up, you have to love the road.
Yeah.
And that means one weekend I'm opening, and I've done like one weekend I opened for like last year I opened for Doug Stanhope at the Neptune in Seattle. But that also means that the next weekend you have to be okay with middling at an Indian reservation where there's no alcohol. And you're just alone, and you're sitting in a $60 motel, and you're miserable, and you're lucky if the internet works. And I am not about that road life.
Yeah. There's only so much of it you can
there are strong people who don't give a crap, and they love the road, and I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, keep at it, though. So why don't you tell me a little bit about what you're working on these days, where people can find you either in person, at shows, on social media, and I'll give you the floor here.
fun tidbit. I'm going to be on the season finale of Vanderpump Rules. I'm going to be a tarot card reader, which I can do.
In real life.
Fun party trick. What else? I have some shows coming up, local shows coming up in March and April. I don't know off the top of my head, but there's just a bunch of bar shows. My calendar is on my website, NantucketHousewife.com.
Great. NantucketHousewife.com.
Yeah, NantucketHousewife.com. And that's kind of all I have going on right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you can also, if you're into horror movies, you can find this on Amazon Prime and iTunes. I was in this movie. I was the face of the movie. I play the ghost. It's called The Inhabitants, and it's very scary.
You played the ghost.
I scare myself.
You scared yourself. Okay.
Yeah. My mom watched it, and she was scared. So.
Did she get scared easily?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, then you must have been...
I guess I was pretty spooky.
Pretty scary. Well, I appreciate you stopping by the studio.
Yeah,
I hope we didn't... I hope we weren't too critical of Jim Carrey. I think I think we did okay. We were honest with him. I hope he listens to it and appreciates that you're a huge fan. And I'm a big fan as well. Like I said, Dumb and Dumber, Ace Ventura, like all that stuff is like I quote it all the time. I still watch those movies all the time. I love those movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're great. They don't even make movies like that anymore.
They don't. They're not.
I don't know who they are. The studios. The people.
The royal they. I don't know who they are, but
no, there's plenty of good movies, but those are certainly classics.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe I have a different different.
Well, it's the movies that came out when we were younger, and you always somebody said something interesting to me. They go, "You always idolize the SNL cast that was big when you were younger."
I always have that thought that it's like everyone always says, "Oh, SNL was better when I was blah 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 blah." Everything. Or is it just that when
so many people are like, Andy Samberg was like the height of SNL? I'm like, you do not even understand.
Yeah, and then I'll say
Chris Farley.
Yeah, and then I'll say Chris Farley, Chris Rock, Spade Sandler, and then someone else will say Eddie Murphy, and then someone else will say Jim Belushi.
Who, by the way,
John Belushi.
Adam Sandler came out with the best comedy special.
I heard it was pretty good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Also, be prepared to cry because he does a musical tribute to Chris Farley, and it's so sad.
I think I did hear about that. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. But speaking of stand-up comebacks, Jim, if you're listening, Adam Sandler did it.
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres just did one.
And those people have lots and lots of money. They don't need
such a long hiatus.
Yeah.
You can do this too. Please, I will
You owe it to India Pearl.
I will be your personal assistant.
Personal assistant? I think, what about an opening act?
I will write jokes for you. I'll open act for you.
Yeah. Serve drinks.
Yes.
Fluff pillows.
I'll be somebody's coffee bitch. I just want to be involved.
Yeah.
I just want to be there.
He might take you up on that if he's not, depending on when the restraining order kicks in. But,
oh, yeah. I need to,
we'll see.
Get that dropped.
Yeah. I know some lawyers. If you're interested. Anyway, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we'll talk soon. And good luck with all the comedy and keep going.
Thank you for having me.
Look forward to seeing more shows and seeing you in films and TV shows. The whole 9 yards.
We can only hope.
You got it. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So there you have it. My conversation with comedian, writer, and actress India Pearl. Hope you guys enjoyed that. It was cool to hear about India's childhood and that story about going back to see The Mask twice. And it's certainly nice how, some comedy fans in Boston will buy a comedian a drink. Even on nights they suck. Anyway, of course you can follow this show, People We Love, on Instagram and Twitter. Just look for the red logo, white letters, People We Love, and there's also a Facebook page. And the show is, of course, available on Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, all that. And if you're enjoying the show, please leave a positive review on iTunes, 5 stars. I'd greatly appreciate that for reals. That's always helpful. Oh, and as I continue to grow this show, I'm going to be looking into putting together a real website and a real homepage on a real domain. And I also have plans on putting together an email newsletter that you can sign up for, and that will be another great way to follow the show and stay up to date on everything going on with it. I think that's about all I got for today, though, so you guys have a pleasant rest of your day, and we will talk soon. Peace.